It was supposed to be a fresh start. After 28 years of service combat zones, classified missions, leading troops, I thought I'd earned peace. A quiet house. A safe neighborhood. No more chaos. But on April 5, 2025, at 11:37 p.m., everything changed. Because in this picture-perfect HOA, changing a Wi-Fi password wasn't just a routine task. It became a battle for my dignity. I was accused of being a criminal in my own home by a woman who'd never even spoken to me. Hacking. That's what she told them. Not my neighbors securing his network. Not maybe I should ask him. No. She saw a black man on his own porch and invented a crime. You think you know this story. You've heard about Karens, about racial profiling. But what happened next? Let's just say, karma came armed with IP logs. Before we go deeper, yeah, this is my actual house. Those are my real security cameras. And that woman? She still lives 3 doors down. So if you're ready to see how a Wi-Fi password exposed a hacker, humbled a hypocrite, and put an entire HOA on blast, stick around. Oh, and if you're watching this, Brandon, hope jail Wi-Fi is working for you. But this isn't just about me. It's about every time someone is judged by their skin instead of their service. About nice neighborhoods where smiles hide suspicion. So, where are you watching from right now? Drop it in the comments. And if you've ever been the Darius in your own story, let's hear it. Like, comment, subscribe. This is Darius Coleman, retired U.S. Army General. 3 tours overseas, countless missions, and a lifetime of service to his country. Now, he's traded combat boots for slippers working from home in a neighborhood where the loudest battles are over lawn maintenance and HOA fees. To most people, Darius might seem reserved, focused on his own world. But in this HOA neighborhood, where potlucks and block parties reign supreme, keeping to yourself can make you a target. Meet Melanie Foster, longtime resident of Crestwood Heights HOA. She's friendly enough at first glance, always quick with a wave or a smile. But behind those blinds, she's watching. Always watching. To Melanie, Darius wasn't just a new neighbor, was an outsider. And in Crestwood Heights, outsiders don't blend in without scrutiny. It started with something small, barely noticeable at first. His Wi-Fi was sluggish, dropping calls during meetings and buffering videos where it never had before. He didn't recognize the device Nama stranger piggybacking on his connection? Or something worse? Either way, it was time to secure the network. Darius stepped onto his porch with his phone in hand to reset the router password for better signal strength. Then Melanie was watching from her kitchen window across the... To Melanie, this wasn't just a neighbor minding his business. It was suspicious behavior. A man standing outside late at night, typing furiously on his phone. She didn't understand what he was doing, but she didn't need to understand to feel uncomfortable. Melanie grabbing her phone and dialing 911. Her voice trembles slightly as she speaks. Melanie. There's someone outside my neighbor's house. I think he's tampering with something. I don't know what he's doing. As Darius finishes up on his porch and heading inside as 2 police cars pull up silently in front of his house. The officers step out cautiously, shining flashlights toward the front door, responding to what they thought was an urgent call about suspicious activity. They didn't know what they were walking into, but neither did Darius. Detective Navarro. Sir, we received a call about possible tampering or suspicious activity outside your home. Darius. Tampering? I was resetting my Wi-Fi password. Melanie. He was outside for a while. I saw him typing on something. I think he might have been hacking. Darius. Ma'am, I'm securing my own network because someone hacked into it. At this point, things could have ended right there. Misunderstanding cleared up with evidence. But what they found next turned this simple dispute into something much bigger. Melanie. I'm telling you, officers, I saw him out there for a long time. He wasn't just resetting a password, he was doing something shady. I don't know what exactly, but it didn't look right. Darius, calmly. I've already explained this. I noticed an unauthorized device connected to my Wi-Fi network, something labeled Crestwood Ione, so I changed my password to secure it. That's all I was doing. Officer Carter, do you mind showing us what you're talking about? We just need to confirm everything. Detective Navarro leaning in. And you're saying this device doesn't belong to you? Darius, that's correct. I've lived here for 3 months, and I've never seen that device before today. Melanie, how do we know he didn't put that there himself? He's probably trying to cover his tracks. Darius, ma'am, with all due respect, why would I hack my own network? And for what purpose? If you're going to accuse me of something, at least make it make sense. Detective Navarro, let's take a closer look at this device's activity logs. If there's anything unusual here, it might help us figure out what's really going on. Officer Carter, these attempts are happening almost daily and always late at night. Whoever owns this device isn't just using your Wi-Fi. They're actively trying to bypass security measures. Detective Navarro, Miss Foster, are you aware of anyone in the neighborhood who might be using advanced equipment like this? It doesn't seem like something the average person would have. Melanie, no, no one comes to mind, but I still think he has something to do with it. Darius, look, officers, I've done nothing wrong here. If anything, I'm the victim. I've been dealing with slow internet and compromised security because someone decided to leech off my network. Officer Carter, we'll need to run some checks on this device's IP address. It might give us more information about who owns it and where it's located. Detective Navarro, muttering, got something. The IP address is linked to another device via laptop registered under Brandon Foster. Melanie, Brandon? My nephew? No, that can't be right. Officer Carter, Ms. Foster, does your nephew live with you? Melanie, hesitant. Yes, but he wouldn't do something like this. He works an eye, the nose better than to mess with people's networks. Detective Navarro, its skills would explain how he managed this level of access. We'll need to speak with him directly. Can you call him out here? Brandon, confused. What's going on? Detective Navarro, Brandon, we've traced unauthorized access attempts back to your device. Care to explain why your laptop has been connecting to Mr. Coleman's network without permission? Brandon stammers as he tries to come up with an excuse, but ultimately fails under pressure. As Brandon admits guilt, Melanie's face turns pale with shock and embarrassment. She stares at Darius, but can't bring herself to speak immediately. The truth was undeniable. The device accessing Darius's network wasn't just a random intrude unit, was part of a larger scheme. Brandon Foster, Melanie's nephew, had been using advanced tools to breach Wi-Fi networks across the neighborhood. Officer Carter, Miss Foster, your nephew has been running what appears to be a man-in-the-middle attack. He's been spying on neighbors through their security cameras and accessing private information. This isn't just a misunderstanding, it's a crime. Melanie, I didn't know. I didn't think. Brandon was charged with cybercrime and invasion of privacy offenses that carried serious penalties. But for Darius, the damage had already been done. Melanie's accusations had turned his quiet evening into an ordeal, exposing not just her prejudice but the fragility of trust in this so-called safe neighborhood. For Darius Coleman, this wasn't just about cybersecurity or an overzealous neighbor, it was personal. After years of serving his country, he'd hoped for peace and respect. Instead, he found himself judged, not by his actions, but by his appearance. Darius, I've faced a lot in my life combat zones, tough decisions that weighed on me for years. But nothing prepares you for being accused of something you didn't do, just because someone doesn't like how you look. Melanie walked up Darius's driveway later that day, visibly nervous, and clutching a plate of cookies. She hesitates before knocking on the door. Darius answers the door but doesn't invite her in. The tension is palpable as Melanie stumbles over her words. Melanie, I wanted to say I'm sorry for everything. I shouldn't have jumped to conclusions. I should have trusted the facts instead of my feelings. Darius. I don't need an apology, Miss Foster. What I need is for people like you to do better. Think before you act next time. Melanie nods silently and walks away, her shoulders slumped in shame. Brandon's actions had shaken the neighborhood, but they also served as a wake-up call. Crestwood Heights began taking steps to improve cybersecurity awareness and foster inclusivity among residents. For Darius Coleman, life went on, but not without caution. Trust would take time to rebuild, and interactions would remain guarded. This isn't just my story. It's a reminder that assumptions can destroy trust, while facts can rebuild it. It's about accountability not just for hackers like Brandon, but for anyone quick to judge without evidence. Darius. To anyone watching this, check your biases at the door and secure your Wi-Fi while you're at it. What happened to me isn't unique. It's part of a larger story about assumptions, prejudice, and the consequences of acting without understanding. But it doesn't have to be this way. We all carry biases some we're aware of, others we aren't. The key is recognizing them and choosing to act differently. Before you judge someone based on how they look or where they're from, ask yourself, do I have the facts? Am I being fair? Because assumptions can destroy trust, but actions based on truth can rebuild it. Cybersecurity is everyone's responsibility. Here are 3 simple steps you can take to protect your network. First, always use strong passwords to avoid common phrases or easy-to-guess combinations. Second, enable 2-factor authentication whenever possible. And third, regularly check your connected devices for any unauthorized access. It's not just about protecting your data. It's about protecting your peace of mind. Don't wait for something to go wrong before taking action. For me, this experience was a reminder of how fragile trust can be and how hard it is to rebuild once it's broken. But it was also a lesson in resilience and the power of truth. Darius, speaking directly to the camera. I don't hold grudges, but I don't forget either. What happened that night wasn't just about me. It was about all the people who've been judged unfairly because they didn't fit someone else's idea of what belongs. If you've ever been in my shoes, you know what I'm talking about. Testimonial 1. I was accused of shoplifting because I looked suspicious. Turns out, the real thief was someone else entirely. Testimonial 2. My neighbor called animal control on my dog because she thought it was too aggressive. It wasn't Dit just barked when she walked by. Testimonial 3. I was pulled over for driving too nice of a car in my neighborhood. When I showed my ID, the officer realized I lived 2 blocks away. This isn't just my story, it's our story. It's about creating communities where everyone feels safe and respected, no matter who they are or where they come from. Darius. This plaque says I served my country for 28 years, but that night, none of that mattered. What mattered was what someone assumed about me without knowing me. Darius. Don't let assumptions define your actions. Let truth guide them instead. Wherever you're watching from, whether you've been judged unfairly or you've judged someone else, let this be a moment to reflect and grow. Together, we can build communities based on trust, respect, and truth. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.